Okay, so today is going to be our first day talking about the actual play of Romeo and Juliet. So we learned a lot about the Elizabethan era and its relevance to his plays, and we'll find different aspects of the era throughout our reading. So today we're going to start with the prologue because it's probably the most important part of the play. It's going to set up all the scenes that will come in the future, and we have to take a little bit of a closer look when reading this because there's a lot of information here. So today we're going to do a quick paraphrasing activity with the prologue, and we're basically going to chunk down different aspects of the prologue to make it a little easier to comprehend. So right here, we're just going to start with the first 4 lines here. You probably maybe even heard these before. They're pretty famous lines of Shakespeare. So the first line there, 2 households, both alike in dignity. If I'm talking about 2 households, do you think that I'm talking about 2 families, just the people, or do you think I'm talking about a physical house? If I'm saying 2 households.
Probably the actual people inside the house.
Yeah, so what makes up a household, okay? The people that live there. So I have 2 separate households, okay? So what you want to do here, you're going to say, okay, 2 households, and you guys can put it on the side of your paper, and you're going to say 2 families. You're going to put that on the side that says paraphrasing because we're just going to chunk this line by line, section by section here. Okay, so we know that there's 2 families and they're both alike in dignity. If I say that you're a dignified person, what kind of person do you think I think you are? Do I think you're running wild, or do I think that you're pretty respectful? What do you think?
The second.
The second, yeah, you're pretty respectful. You're going to be pretty prominent in society, okay? So these people are both alike in dignity, okay? Both aspects of these families are dignified people. Based on what we know about the Elizabethan era, what kind of status do we think that they probably are of? Do you think a higher status or a lower status?
Higher.
A higher status, yeah. They're going to be alike in dignity. Not everyone in the Elizabethan era, we learned, is a dignified person. We know that there was a lot of crime and a lot of negative things going on in that era. So not everyone is dignified. So these are 2 prestigious families, okay? This first line of the play will set up all the future events, okay? We already know from this very first line of the prologue who the play is going to be about, okay? And this is important, taking this line by line, okay? So in the next scene, we have in fair Verona, where we lay our scene, okay? Now, when I say Verona, we probably don't know where that is, okay? So I'm saying in Verona. Does this sound like it would be a location due to the rest of the sentence here?
Yes.
Lindsay, will you read the rest of the sentence here?
Where we lay our scene.
Where we lay our scene. Now, we know it's a play, and it's made up of acts. So can we kind of conclude that this might give us a definite location of where we're talking about?
Yes.
What is the location of a story? What do we call that?
The setting.
The setting, good. So we already have the setting in even the second line, okay? Now, do you think from a quick read we would gather all this information? If I just told you to sit there and read the prologue, do you think you would be gathering all this information, how we are together? No, so that's why it's important to break this down. Especially Shakespeare is going to be like nothing that you read before. It's not going to be like The Most Dangerous Game. It's not going to be like The Interloper's Test. It's not a short story. This is a piece of work, okay? This is prolific and it's very, very canonical, and you're going to see Romeo and Juliet throughout the entire high school career. So you want to make sure that aspects of this chunking method are really important, and you'll get a lot more of a close read, and it'll be much easier to paraphrase. So what I want you to do is get with a partner in the next 2 lines here. I want you to identify, just like we did here, identify what is going on in those lines, what this means for the rest of the play, and what we're going to come across while reading the first act.